Hi everyone, I'm Allie with the Potomac Bead Company, and I'm going to show you how to do these little crystal balls today. You can use any size bead and any type of bead really to do this. 6mm will work, 4mm, 3mm, 8mm. You're just going to get a really big ball when you start going into the bigger sizes. I'm using 4mm bicones today, but you can also use round beads as well. It'll make it a little bit more circular shape. In addition to my round or my bicone Swarovski crystals, these are 4mm in the crystal cow color. I'm using 30 of those. I'm using 2 size 10 English beading needles, and I've attached them already to one piece of wildfire beading thread in 0.006. I have about 24 inches of thread. These don't use that much thread because they're nice and small. If you're using a bigger bead, you may need a little bit more thread. But I've attached both of these needles already to the same piece of thread to the middle of that. I used my thread burner in order to burn my thread off my big roll, and I'm going to use that thread burner again at the end in order to burn off the little knot after we're done with that. So that's what we're going to use material-wise. Again, anything will kind of work. In addition to the 0.006 wildfire, you could have used 0.008, or you can even use an illusion cord like Supplemex. So I'm getting ready to start now, and what I've done is I have my needle that's to the right and I have my needle that's to the left. It's going to be important to keep needles to the right and needles to the left as we're working. In addition to that, one thing to keep in mind is that all of these here are groups of 5. So when you look at the little spheres here, you can see 5 beads sitting in each group as you turn it. So we're always going to be doing beads in groups of 5. So when you're putting these on, I'm going to say again, we want to get to our group of 5. So it's a little bit simple addition going on. So to start out, I put 5 beads into the middle of my thread using my right hand needle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my left hand needle and I'm going back through that last bead that I put on, so the 5th bead, and I'm going in the opposite direction so that way it forms a circle. My bead that was on the left is now on the right. The bead that was on the right is now on the left. I'm going to pick up my right needle and I'm going to add 5 beads because I already have one that's going to be part of my group of 5. So I'm just going to add 4 more beads to make another group of 5. I let those 4 beads drop down next to that other bead, and I'm going to take my left needle, go back through in a circular formation, back through that last bead that I added, pull nice and tight, and that's going to get me 2 little groups sitting next to one another. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left needle, it's coming out of this bead right here, and now I'm going to actually take it through the bead beside it. So I'm joining 2 beads together onto this thread. Because there's 2 beads joined together, I only need to add 3 beads to make my group of 5. So I'm going to add 3 beads onto my right needle. I'm always adding beads onto my right needle, and I'm always sewing back through and making a circle with my left needle. I'm going back through the last bead that I added, so the 3rd bead that I added. I'm going to pull nice and tight, and that's going to get me my other group of 5 there. So I now have my 3 groups of 5. I'm going to take my needle that's on the left and I'm going to do the same that I did on the last step where I take the needle on the left and I'm actually going to go through the bead that's beside it as well. So I'm already through 2 beads that are joined on my thread. I'm going to pick up my needle and I'm going to add 3 more beads onto my right needle. Let them drop down. Pick up my left needle here, and I'm going to go back through that last bead added. Pull nice and tight. And I get another group of 5. I'm going to repeat that same step again where I take the left needle, join the bead that's next to it, so that way I have 2 beads that are joined by that same thread. I'm going to add 3 more beads on the right to get to my group of 5. Let those drop down. Pick up my needle on the left, go through that last bead in the opposite direction, Pull nice and tight, and get another group of 5 going. I've been adding my left needle to an extra bead. What I'm going to do now is, if you look, kind of forms a line. I'm going to add to 2 beads in addition to that one. So we're going to add 3 beads together and pull tight. Because I have those 3 together, I'm going to pick up my needle on the right and add 2 more to make 5. Take my needle on the left here, go back through that first bead, or that last bead added. Give a tight pull. And at this point, I get a little bit of a dome shape. So you can see I have a little bit of a dome shape going on. And I'm going to go back now with my left needle and just join 2 again. So I'm just going to pick up the bead that's next to the one already threaded and join 2 together. Because I joined 2 together, we need to add 3 onto our right needle. So 3 go onto the right needle. Pick up my left needle. I'm going to sew back through. Pull nice and tight. You do want to keep it nice and tight so that way your ball stays nice and rounded. And I've got it pulled nice and tight. And the left needle now is going to join 3. So I have the 1, I sew through 2 more, and now I have 3. Because I have 3, I need to add 2 more to make my group of 5. I'm going to take my left needle, sew back through the last bead that I added, give a nice tight pull, and my circle's starting to take a lot of shape. I'm going to add 3 more beads again to my left needle. So I'm already through 1. I'm going to go through 2 and 3, right along that line. Give a nice tight pull. You can see it's really cupped now. You get that really nice circular formation forming. I'm going to add 2 more beads to get to a 5 group. Take my left needle, go back through, and pull nice and tight. And I'm almost done my circle now. I'm going to join 3 beads again. So my left's through 1. We're going to add 2 and 3 beads into place. I'm already through 3, so that means I need to add 2 more of my beads. After that, I'm only going to have 1 more back left to work with. And that's why it's helpful to put them in a group of 30 ahead of time, because that way you know exactly how many you need to add. Back through that bead there. I'm going to join 4 this time, because I only have 1 bead left, so I need 4 on. 1, 2, 3, and 4. When I join those 4, that gives me 1 bead to add left. So I join those 4 onto that left needle, pick up my right needle, add the last bead, take the left needle, sew back through it, and that's going to close up my loop. What I want to do is kind of reinforce it a little bit, because this loop here actually isn't connected anywhere. So after I'm through that, I'm going to take my needle that's on the right and I'm going to go back through that whole group of 5 there. So the one that I'm coming out of, plus I have through 2 already, 3, 4, and 5. What that's going to do then is have your threads ending at the same place. Once your threads end at the same place, you're going to pick them up, not overthinking it. You're going to tie a nice tight knot. There's 1. I'm going to do a square knot, so I'm switching from left over to right over left. Doing a nice second tight knot. And then I'm going to get ready with my burner to burn off my little extra thread ends. So you can see we started off with 24 inches of thread. It's more than enough thread, but I like to have a little bit extra. I'm going to press down on my burner here. What that's going to do is heat up these coils at the end, and I'm just going to burn right through my thread. If you want to, you can add a little bit of glue, some super glue or some E6000 glue. You can just add a little drop of glue there and burn down your ends if you want to. And there I have my second little crystal ball. With this first pair that I made them into earrings. To do that, I just used a head pin, an extra 4mm crystal at the bottom, stuck the head pin through the middle, and an extra 4mm crystal at the top, and then turned over. If you need help learning how to do any of the wire working, to do the loops, or to work with any earrings, check out our other YouTube videos. I think I'm going to make these into earrings too. They're kind of fun and festive and a little bit sparkly, maybe for a fancier event. And check out our other YouTube videos to get other cool ideas, as well as if you can check us out on Facebook and visit one of our retail locations. We'd love to see you in the shop. Hopefully you have fun making a bunch of these. They're kind of addicting. And again, let us know if you need any help with anything, and we'd be happy to help you. Thanks a lot for watching, and have fun making these little crystal balls.